spring songwriting concert. All of the songs you're going to hear tonight, with the exception of Turkey in the Straw at the beginning and Hound Dog at the end, all of the other songs were written, composed, arranged, and otherwise made up by the kids. So we start working on this back in late February and put in a lot of work. We have some accompaniment. Put in a lot of work on these songs. The topic of class trip came up with Mrs. McFadden's class. I don't know if any of you experience this. Sometimes in my family when we're planning a trip, we can't quite agree on where we're going to go and what we're going to do. And Mrs. McFadden's class definitely had that problem. Just can't decide what we want to do on this class trip. In the end, the problem gets solved in a rather unexpected way. So the process of writing these songs is kind of interesting. We start with something called a seed, which is just a small idea, like most creative things. You know, it all starts with an idea. And sometimes the finished product turns out a little different from our starting idea. This year, the weather was a recurring theme in our starting ideas for some weird reason. And Miss Ryder's class came up with this idea to do a song about a storm. Now, their original idea was a song about the ocean. But as we composed and created this piece of music, it turned into something, again, a little different from what we first expected. This is kind of in ABA form, like a real storm. It starts out calm, and everything's okay and peaceful, but you hear that ominous rumbling off in the distance. And then the storm starts and things get very fast and serious, and then we end with calm and goodness restored, because of course, just like in real life, storms do not last forever. This is Miss Ryder's class, The Storm. Sometimes I have people ask me, how much of this is me and how much of this is really the kids? Well, it's mostly the kids. I'm a fairly random person, but I'm not this random. And they come up with the most amazingly bizarre ideas sometimes, and that's part of what's so fun about this. Mostly what I do is provide musical expertise, provide some structure to the process of writing these songs, because writing a song in a big group is kind of hard. Once in a while I'll throw in an idea if the kids get stuck, but really These songs belong to these kids. Most of us in Lander do some camping, and we understand the importance of keeping a clean camp. Usually when we talk about keeping a clean camp, we're thinking in terms of bear safety. This is a song about chipmunk safety. One thing I've really emphasized with the kids this past couple years as their music teacher is being able to do multi-part music and keep the parts together. That is really, really difficult, even for adults, but especially for kids this age. Hopefully you've noticed in some of the songs already, the kids listening to each other, and maybe things start to get a little messed up, but we fix it because we're listening. This is really difficult. The title of Mrs. Robertson's song is The Wild Side, because they decided to name it that because the composition process and the rehearsals with this song got a little wild at times. This was a really difficult song to put together, and it turned out really cool. The kind of the holy grail for a teacher, of course, is to progress your kids to the point where they don't need you anymore. So, we're going to try some. You guys really want to do this? We're going to try something slightly scary tonight. I'm going to give the kids a nod and walk off the stage, and this is all them. The Wild Side by Mrs. Robertson's class. Early in the school year, we did a study of a style of music called the blues. And blues is a great way to teach lots of things, improvisation and chord progressions and accompanying and singing and all sorts of things. Just a really fun style of music. But of course, what the blues is really about is complaining about things. Now, Mr. Long's class started their song, like I said, way back in February when we were still in the middle of the eternal winter. And it's kind of hard now, you know, we look outside, things are green. Back in February, we thought this kind of weather was never going to come again. And so Mr. Long's class wrote a song that I think we can all really identify with. This is called The Bad Luck Winter Blues. You're going to hear some improvisation on this with the blues scale on the xylophones, but mostly I hope you'll just groove on the melody and groove on the words, because we have all lived this song. I should have mentioned this one takes a minute to set up for because they have to swap out the bars on the xylophones to make them into the blues scale. So that's why we're taking a few minutes to get going here. Thanks for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, don your shades.
Donuts frozen, icebergs in my house. Try to take a shower, but only ice came out. We got the bad luck winter blues. Been cold for so long, my fingers are turning blue. Can't go outside, you're just staying inside playing cards. Can't go outside, just staying inside playing cards. Not saying it's cold, but there's a man in my backyard.
It's hard to believe we are almost done. I told you guys this would go fast. We had a very, very long practice this afternoon. The kids worked really hard, and oh my goodness, we were hot and tired. And this is the reward. This is a lot of fun. Before we do our final song tonight, there are a lot of people that I want to say thank you to. There's always a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and people that help us put these concerts on. So I just want to acknowledge some of those people. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mrs. Hakela, our principal, for always being so enthusiastic and supportive of all the weird and strange things that we do in music class. Kids, how about a hand for Mrs. Hakela? I want to give a gigantic thank you to our classroom teachers and our paras. We really could not even run music class without them, let alone put on a concert. I can't even begin to say all of the ways that the classroom teachers help us and the paras with accommodating weird practice schedules and helping kids remember to be where they're supposed to be and helping kids practice their songs and helping with crowd control during our rehearsals and just all those things. Kids, how about a big round of applause for your teachers and paras? All of the instruments that are on stage tonight were hauled over here yesterday afternoon by the Baldwin Creek Elementary custodian crew. And having worked in a few schools where I used to have to do that myself in my pickup truck, I really, really appreciate their help. Also, the Lander Valley High School custodians put in a lot of work setting up the stage for us, and we have Mr. Wendell running the lights and the sound for us. How about a big hand for our custodians? Mrs. Powell, one of our instructional facilitators, is taking 2 evenings out of her very busy life to be here and videotape the concert tonight so that we can watch ourselves next week. How about a hand for Mrs. Powell? I want to say thank you to all of our parents and other caregivers. This is a really, really fantastic group of kids. I hardly ever have any major discipline problems. I think the worst discipline problem we have usually is, hey, quit talking and having so much fun, which is not the worst discipline problem I've ever dealt with. I get a lot of pleases and thank yous and you're welcomes and just a really nice bunch of kids. And that tells me there are some good things going on in our homes here in Lander. So thank you, parents. Kids, give your parents a hand. Plus, I know some of you listen to them practice these songs a lot, so I appreciate that too. And I always want to end by saying thank you to the kids. I have the coolest job. I get paid to sing with kids and play with all these cool toys and stuff. And I just never know what's going to happen when we do this process, you guys. And it always surprises me how creative and how fun your songs are. So thank you for sharing your creativity and your joy with me. This has been so much fun. How about one more hand for these kids? We like to end our spring concert with something kind of inspirational, something that will send you on your way feeling like a better person, but not this year. This year we're going to end our concert with a song about a naughty dog. This is Hound Dog.